All right, hello everybody, and welcome to your daily lighting critique. Let us get into it. So we're going to start off here with forums. Looking at Tom and Jerry's little scene. I think the work that you're doing on this is really incredible. I love the updates. I love it overall. I think it's really great. I love so a couple things as I'm going to step through this. Number one is, let's see. So again, this is a fully animated shot. You can check it on Discord, but as you can see, we're just taking a look at a few stills from it. So the one thing that I would like to see is I want to remove some of the redness from the ears early on in the shot, because one of the tricks that you learn from animation for a while is that if you're going to have a color be like a key story point or point of distinction, like this, like we'll let this room feel a little bit more neutral. And then as the characters hit the red room, then we'll let the red light come in. So sometimes when you want to suppress, when you want a color to have an impact, you have to suppress it leading up to it so that the color pop becomes a little bit more powerful. So I would allow these ears to get a little bit more neutral. And then, when he's coming out of the room, then they can have that red glow. Then they can have that impact feel to it. It was like, I think I wrote about this, in Emperor's New Groove, when they had the pink potion, the artists did for about 2 or 3 minutes before that shot, where the first time the pink potion is revealed, all the shots are very blue and very cool. There's not like a warm tone in the thing, so that when the pink potion comes out, it's like a pop of color. So something like that. The other one, and this is going to sound silly, but the spay and neuter services, Dr. Jerry, that sign doesn't look, everything else about this feels so crisp and prime and just like really, really professional in its level. That sign doesn't feel like it's at that same level. It feels off-center. It feels a little bit too high. And it's just like Helvetica type. This is going to sound really silly, but for me, I would say take a stab at giving that a little bit more of a nuanced design feel. It feels a little bit too on the nose, right? Like I don't know what a veterinary sign looks like off the top of my head. I'd have to find references, or what a spay and neutering service sign would look like. But I think maybe putting a little bit more time in that, like add a little, like there's the medical logo of the pole with the 2 snakes wrapping around it. Something that would look like something on a business card or like a real profession. But overall, I think this is really good. Overall, and also on the top of, I guess it's Jerry's head. I guess Jerry's the mouse, right? Yeah, Tom's the cat, Jerry's the mouse. Okay, on top of the head, it looks a little bit yellow here. I think I would neutralize that a little bit too. Also, a little specular highlight on the nose. It almost looks like an eye ding. I would check out and maybe eliminate that, especially like here when he's looking that way. It goes in, comes out, blah, 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 blah. I love the silly arms, like the circles here, like the woo, 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 like that's all I could think to call it, the woo, 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 woo thing. I think that's a lot of fun. So really cool stuff overall. But yeah, just those handful of notes there. All right, this was a lot for me to download and load up in Photoshop, so that's why I have it here in Discord. We'll jump over into Photoshop for the rest of them. All right, here we go. So let's go ahead and I'll start off here looking at these reference images that were posted. Absolutely love these. Yes, this specifically is exactly what I'm looking for. Like, look at the tone of this. It's dark. It's kind of mysterious. We're just getting specular highlights on this stuff. I think that is something that you really want to lean into. I think that is a really beautiful. Let's see if we can find the other one here real quick. I think that is a really beautiful breakdown of what a night scene in this universe would look like. So it's, something like this, like imagine, because I think it's like quite literal, right? The way that we're seeing this and the way it's kind of lit up and illuminated. I think we can get away with something a little bit darker like this, where we're just kind of picking up the shape of it. Like, I think that's some of the beauty of this artist's work, is the darkness and the mysteriousness of it. And it's very easy as an artist to be like, oh, I modeled this giant robot, I put in all these tubes and valves and buttons and stuff. I want to see everything, but we have to like fight against that urge a little bit and get us into like darkening some stuff, because I think that'll be more appealing to the audience. But great find on some reference here, so really nice stuff. But yeah, like this, and by the way, yeah, like this level of brightness outside and like that amount pouring in is going to be really, really good. And you can add a warm element like that too if you want. Like you could also put in a light source here. Like this is an overhead light, but there could be like a warm light source on the wall here or something shining in as well. So just a thought. But yeah, those values, that level of contrast, that like amount of haze in an interior space is going to be key for you. I love a good wedge test, man. This is looking great. Absolutely love this. If I were to pick one, I would say probably the bottom one here. I like this one the best. I would just, actually, I'm going to do this on 2 of them. I think we can desaturate them a little bit. I think somewhere, yeah, see, I'm looking at the bottom one here. I think that one is going to look very good. Let's see. Yeah, I think just adding just a little bit of value in there really, really makes it pop. I think that looks really good. Excuse me. I think others may disagree. If you do, please feel free to throw them in the chat and in the replies down below. But I think that one is looking great. I think that overall this is looking really good. All the other things, yeah, everything else is looking pretty good about it. There's super minor. There's like a dark line right there. I would just kind of allow that to fall back. Like the way that there's no dark elements over here, I would just kind of mimic that up there. But otherwise it's looking really good. All right, cool. All right. So here we go. We got this one. Now we got a key light. Now we got a skylight coming in. Awesome. I think that the shaping and the value is just about right. What I'm missing from the fill light is more color. So like I'm seeing it here, feels pretty neutral, especially down here feels pretty neutral. I want to, like this sky is very blue. I want to feel that blueness in there. So I would say let's add some more saturation to that, and possibly, depending on the time of day, actually I'm looking at and thinking about the value. I would actually think about increasing the value of that light too. I think it could go a little bit brighter, especially because I'm seeing some really dark areas in here and in here and stuff. On a daytime thing, you would never really get that. So I would say maybe try and boost that up a little bit more. But other than that, it's looking really good. The other thing is maybe make the eye, like if the eyes are going to be a little bit glowy, maybe throw some light out of them too. I mean, I know we're not doing that yet, but down the road, maybe just like a little bit on the chest and the body and stuff. I don't know, just a thought. Maybe that could work, although the angle might not work out there. But yeah, other than that, it's looking good. Yes, Mo, this one is looking better, but I'm still missing the reference imagery. It's so important to the process because again, like I don't, I want to see your vision for this because there's a couple things going on here. So like we've got this background plate, feels a little bit low resolution. The moon is interesting here. It almost looks like it's interweaving in the trees. It doesn't actually look like it's behind it for some reason. Like it feels like it's over top of one of these, but interesting one there. But like I think like this is much better. Like this feels much more like a night scene. But the thing is like I want to know you know like more about what you're feeling in terms of like the story that you're trying to tell with this. Are these children in danger? Are they safe? Is this a fun playtime, or are they lost on an adventure? Are they running away and it's kind of playful? Like I'm kind of missing that. Like this feels a little ominous right now because of the extreme, like they feel like they're surrounded by towering trees. In terms of like technical stuff, I think that, you know, we've got the light wrapping around her quite a bit. It's coming around over the top, but on this closer character, I would like to see like, you know, if there's this much light on her, there would be more of a rim here, especially around the top of the head, and just getting some more kind of wrapping on the shoulder and just getting some more shaping on the character there. Additionally, everything feels a little bit matte overall. Like I'm not getting any like specular highlights as much. I mean, I guess on her hair there's a lot, maybe a little bit here too, but like some of the other elements, it just feels a little bit more matte. But again, I think the biggest thing for you right now would be to really get that, to refine the reference. Like again, just find some images, because that'll really kind of direct us in how much secondary light there is in here, how much bounce light, and kind of all that stuff too. And again, like a big thing that we want to play up is we want to, with the storytelling, because again, it just will help me give you notes. It's things like if it's playful, we want to read the. Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button. If it's playful, we want to really see the characters' faces, right? Like we want to be able to read their expression, so that'd be more light on their faces. If they're in danger, then we want to tone that down and make it be in rim light. Also, right now, if you kind of squint at the screen, Like if I blurred this up, I'll just go ahead and do it because we're recording here. Wait, image. I'll filter this in a minute. Get this out of the way. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I just like crank this up. Too much. Where's my attention going? It's right here in the middle, right? That might actually be too much too. So, like your attention kind of goes to this triangle right in the middle. And then again, if you're in here, it's because that's the brightest part of the image. And it's not like a problem, but you really want it to be more on them and not so much in the middle. Last thing I'll say is that with these butterflies, awesome choice. Love having them around. You just want to make sure that, because they're right now, like if I'm cutting the image in half, they're all on the left-hand side of the image, so you kind of want to feel them a little bit more balanced. Also, the big thing with butterflies is that like their wings would never really go this dark because they're really translucent. So just make sure that you get that translucency in there too. But yeah, definitely making good progress, man. It's just, this stuff takes time. Like it's you want to jump to the finish line, but like you want to make sure you're doing each step of the process, but you're doing a really good job. All right, so last one here. It's each step of the process here. Awesome. So one thing before I get started on the individual things, look at the teeth. In every single one, even here and here, the teeth are glowing. That indicates to me that there's some ambient value in the material, which is fine, but just something to be aware of. As you're layering things together, this process is additive. So this is the darkest that these teeth will ever get in any circumstance. And if you start layering them, if you start like plussing layers together on top of it, it's just going to get brighter and brighter and brighter. So just be aware of that. You might have to put a different material on the teeth in some render layers so that you don't get that kind of glowing ambient effect adding onto it. So that's step one. Step two is, like, I'll go ahead and stick to here. So this is good. I think the subsurface is a little bit too strong. Like if you're seeing it in the cheek there, that's generally a sign that it's coming in a little too hot. It looks really nice around these edges though, but I just think we could pull it back just a little bit. Plus you've got a nice combination of specular highlights and stuff on there, which is really good. Now, the one thing that I'm still a little bit confused by is why am I not seeing a shadow from this guy onto the couch? Like I guess the light is coming in because it's more coming in from the front, right? Like if it's not this window that's on screen, it's off to the side. And so I guess it is. Maybe it's just coming in over here, but I'm not seeing it here either. So I would just check to see what's going on with that shadow there. In terms of, yeah, because again, like here it just feels like it's super illuminated without any kind of shadow on it. Window light looks good, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I think that works. I also wonder if, also make sure that you're, like, I'm not sure what renderer you're using, but make sure that like there's some sort of secondary indirect light happening too. Because I think that if there's this much light coming in, I see a little bit of fill value in there, but I would just expect more like bounce light up onto them. Especially her back here, she gets real, like especially out towards her back. She's like really dark back there. Surprised I'm not seeing more of that in there. But let's see what else. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. And then, yeah, for this volumetric light, two things about it. One, I think it's great that you separated it because now you can do some things with it. But the thing is, again, like you don't want the teeth to glow and you don't want those specular highlights from the book in it. You just want it to be this light. I would also figure out a way to do two things. One, increase the radius of it. And two, I want some interaction with it in the scene. Like if the light is shining on these characters, we should see volumetric light from the characters in the light as well, right? Like right now it just kind of feels like a shape that was drawn. And then we want to kind of soften it up too. And you always want to glow it up. So by glowing it up again, I'll show you this here too. So I can copy it, paste it, give it a little bit of blur. Again, like, we'll do 4 pixels, that's fine for now. And then we'll bring it up over the top with a little either screening or adding it together. And this is a little bit strong, but you can see how just by doing that, you're like softening it and like making it feel a little bit glowier. So make sure you're doing that as well. I think that's it. I think that's everybody for today. If you all have any questions or if I missed anybody, please let me know. But in the meantime, keep lighting, and I will see you the rest of the week. All right, happy lighting, everybody.